What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Mean Streets here at FTN. Chris Meaney with Noops Christenson at _Noops. Of course, you know him from FTNFantasy.com and Hoops with Noops. Subscribe to our FTN YouTube page. Get notified right away when Noops goes live with his videos as we creep closer to the NBA playoffs getting underway this weekend. We're taking a look at what does seem like a lopsided affair when you take a look at the odds, Noops, here with the Cleveland Cavs as the 4 seed, 48-34, minus 195. I'm seeing as the series price over at DraftKings, in the Orlando Magic back in the playoffs for the first time in a little bit, 47-35 at plus 165 as the 5 seed here. Is this as lopsided as the numbers would suggest, or do you feel like Orlando can hang here?
I love Orlando. I think there's a lot of value in the Magic. I bet them to win the series at plus 165, as I like to do with underdogs who get to host Game 6. Played them minus 1.5 games in the series. That's a really nice number. I think plus 250, maybe closer to plus 300 at this point. But I look at this series, and it's two teams that are going to lose in the next round. They're playing for the right to get smoked by Boston in 5, maybe 6 games if they're lucky. Cleveland has been a mess. For whatever reason, their foursome last year that worked of Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland has not this year. Darius Garland looks like a shell of himself. Donovan Mitchell's been injured all year, and defenses have finally learned that with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley on the floor, you don't really have to guard them. There's not really enough shooting out there, which makes everything a lot more difficult. Orlando had a nice, strong finish to the season. Franz Wagner a little bit injured, which led to maybe some late losses, but he's healthy now. Paolo Banchero looks like he is going to be one of the next guys to step into being a regular all-star, being maybe one of the 10 to 15 best players in the NBA. Orlando has the best defense in the league since the All-Star break, and that's really where I start here. Again, from a coaching perspective, both pretty solid coaches. I don't see a real edge there. From a star advantage, Donovan Mitchell probably the best player in this series, but Paolo can be the best player in this series. And if that's the case, I think Orlando wins. Even if they don't, these are going to be ugly, ugly games. Most of these are on NBA TV. They should all be on NBA TV. This is not going to be good. The total is 207 in the first game. Bet under that. Bet under any total 200 or higher. I think we're going to see some 80-something to 80-something games. I mean, Cleveland pretty solid defensively. Orlando not good offensively. Orlando great defensively. The Cleveland has struggled to score here. And I think that's really what carries the day. I think the Magic defense are going to be in control a lot of these games, and Paolo can do just enough to get them a win and get them into the second round. Again, for the right to get smacked by Boston.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, it's good for Orlando. As I said, they haven't made the playoffs in a while. It's first playoff appearance since 2020. They haven't won a playoff series since 2010. Good for them, right? I mean, I think they've been one of the most surprising teams in the NFL. And I know you're big on, spreads and picks and covers. I mean, they had 51 covers this year, which led the NBA any team. So they hung around in a lot of games. I think they surprised a lot of people in just NBA betting market as well early on in the season, winning some of these games. I agree on Paolo. I mean, the guy looks like an absolute baller. And I agree with a lot of your takes on Cleveland too. Like, they just seem pretty underwhelming. It's like a team last year. It's like, oh, great defense. Can they score outside of Donovan Mitchell? And Mitchell's been inconsistent as well, up and down. He is a massive favorite to lead the series in points, which I don't think is a huge surprise at minus 300 at DraftKings. Paolo's plus 310. Wagner's at 10-1. Garland at 22-1. Even with the Cavs maybe losing in 5 or 6, or if it goes 7, you do expect probably Mitchell to lead in points, or would you take a little bit of a sprinkle on Paolo, ready for the moment at 3-1?
I would take a sprinkle on Paolo. Now, I agree that Donovan Mitchell should be favored. Minus 300 is pretty egregious for a guy who's shown that he's injury prone. He has not been healthy, dealing with some knee stuff. If he misses a game or two, or again gets knocked out for half of a game, doesn't look quite right here. Paolo, I expect to score, at least 15 to 20 points in every game, if not more. Again, I could see him averaging closer to 24, 25 points in this series, which puts him pretty close to contention in general. And again, unless Mitchell really pops off, which is possible, and why, again, Mitchell should be the favorite, but minus 300 is nuts. I think that's a really nice price on Paolo, and definitely a bet I'm going to make.
Yeah, threes leaders. Mitchell is, of course, at minus 240 as well. Garland at 5-1. Strus at plus 750. Suggs at 9-1. So it may be the Mitchell show on Cleveland, but it may not be good enough. I love it. You're coming in here hot with an upset. It is. I'm looking at all the series prices. Like, this is the one where it is the most lopsided. Of course, now with LA and Denver, right? But this is one here
Yeah.
where we can get Orlando at plus 165 and maybe even a little bit of a sprinkle to win minus 1.5 games at plus 260 as well over at DraftKings. So Noops is coming in here hot with the Magic takes. He thinks that they're ready for the moment. Young squad, nice appealing players on the roster, and the Cavs as an underwhelming squad this year. But man, Spida, I know he's had some big time moments in the playoffs, right? And I think that's, part of why potentially the odds are like this, but it's just one guy. As you said, there's some other guys that really need to step up on that team.
I think it's going to look a lot like the series last year with the Knicks, where the Cavaliers are going to have
Yeah.
moments. Mitchell's going to be able to try to win them games. But at the end of the day, the better team top to bottom won that series last year. The better team top to bottom, I think, is going to win the series this year. So, again, I always think about coaching, star player. I know the Cavaliers have the best star. I'm just not sure that's enough to carry them against it. Again, that Magic defense is really going to be spectacular.
Noops Christenson, you're going to want to follow this guy for all the NBA picks and props throughout the NBA playoffs at _Noops. Again, subscribe to FTN. Here, our YouTube page. You get notified when he goes live with Hoops with Noops. Also, ftnfantasy.com for all the stuff. And the playback, I've really enjoyed watching you, you and the crew at FTN taking in some live NBA action just with your analysis and the takes. It's very entertaining. So again, you subscribe to our YouTube page or you follow at _Noops to get notified right away. We're all sharing it, and I hope to join you very, very soon. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. As Zach had a big smile on his face, the best time of the year, and I'm sure you're right there with him as well. Appreciate the time. Let us know in the comment section here on YouTube, TikTok. Maybe we're drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit too much with Orlando, but I thought, honestly, you were going to tell me the Cavs were going to squeak out a victory maybe in 7, but you still didn't feel them. Nuh-uh. Take Orlando plus 165. Noops has already done it there. Let us know.
You believe in magic.
If you believe in magic, we'll end it right
We
there.
do.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.